Thanks for being willing to play. And is it okay to record this for future teaching?
Yep.
Might even be interesting for you to look at it later.
Over a cigarette?
Over a cigarette? Maybe. Over, under, behind, instead of, yeah, whatever. So I want to write down the structure as we're going, so it'll be a little bit strange, but if you can bear with us. What sort of things do you like to do?
Just going out for dinners and being with friends and, like sort of reading, playing the guitar.
Okay, I'm going to go with reading and guitar because that's going to fit in with an early learning set. It's going out with friends, that's maybe, but this is going to be easy. What sort of guitar music do you like? You playing the guitar, you said?
Yeah, well, I like sort of playing anything.
But like an acoustic guitar, electric?
Yeah, all I've got left now is an acoustic, really.
Acoustic.
So, gone from sort of having rooms full of guitars to one guitar that I had originally. So my oldest one's still there, I suppose.
Okay.
So it's just an acoustic.
Yeah, and what sort of music do you find yourself playing? Like pop music, jazz? Or
yeah,
classical?
I've been playing a lot of classical lately.
Classical?
So yeah, quite a lot of classical. And just mucking around with friends on guitars and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And problem? Do you want to do something about him?
Well, I'd quite like to stop smoking, or at least cut down.
Or at least not increase.
Well, that's it, yeah.
Stop smoking, at least cut down. Why do you want to do that? What is it that's the problem that you? Why is it that you want to? What's missing for you that you want to stop?
What could be missing would be one lung, I guess. I don't know, I guess my health is starting. I'm starting to notice it a bit more.
Well, what are you noticing?
Well, I'm not as fit as I used to be.
Okay.
And I feel that's sort of
So does
due to
fitness is something
cigarettes.
that's starting to be missing? And what else?
It's a lot more antisocial than what it used to be as well. I think.
You want to fit in socially?
No, well, I guess it's not fitting in socially, but I guess, it'd be nice not to have to duck out and have a cigarette all the time in the middle of things, and yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, now we'll have. Let's have a invitation about. We might get in because smoking is a dissociative experience. We might want to have an associative. We want to get Brendan to pay attention to some part of his body. He talks about lungs, so let's have breathing. I'll ask him to notice his breathing, and as he breathes, to feel that the air is doing good, making him fitter or something. So I'll have a body induction, awareness induction about breathing. We can have an early learning about, let's have two. We'll have reading and we'll have playing the guitar. See where that leads. And then let's have a clinical metaphor. Yeah. Perhaps about someone who wanted to stop smoking. Might be okay. So what story can we have? Some story about someone who wanted to stop smoking. Cut down. I'll tell you a story about my stopping, but I won't say it was me. I'll say I know someone who. And then we have a life metaphor. Something about something that's there, so you get away with it for a while and then after a while it starts to interfere, and then you stop it. I can't think of anything there. I don't know what we're going to do there. And then I'll have some suggestions here. And they'll be about the benefits of being a non-smoker. There's something about feeling fit, and some can say it's going to be interesting for you to find out if you stop smoking, or whether you just cut down before you stop, or whether it'll happen slowly, gradually, intermittently at first, or blah blah blah. Benefits of being a non-smoker, and how will you stop. Then, well, I don't know what this one's going to be because we don't know what the first one was. But I'll say some more about that. Then I'll say something about the guitar. We could say that he's cut down on guitars. As far as the electric guitar, he's given up the electric guitar. He's given that up. And reading, whether he wondered whether he'd ever be able to succeed at it, he might have trouble stopping. Maybe some reading that he does, or that you might want to, like reading about hypnosis or reading about epilepsy or something that you, once you start reading it, it's hard to stop, but you can maybe at least think about cutting down. Then as a reorientation, we'll come back to the breathing, and then we'll say some more about feeling healthy, and then what do you notice is different, and then maybe some more conversation about the music that you're playing and blah blah blah. So yeah, we've got a sort of, you see there's a sort of a structure. One thing that's missing here is a life metaphor. And if I might think of something on the way down, but if not, then I'll ask Brendan and he might come up with something. Did I turn that on or not? Yes, I did. So it's no good me saying forget all about that, because it's actually just something behind you, so that you don't need to pay attention to, but I can use that to look at. It might be helpful to remind me.
Yep.
And would it be okay that if you were to just take some time to start to notice your breathing? Okay. And as you are still noticing that, that's it. There may be something about the experience of breathing that as you open yourself to that experience, you can close down some other experiences, as if you're getting ready to shut them out, so that even as you breathe that air, there may be something about the experience of breathing that's it. Okay. That you could enjoy, you could appreciate, and as you allow that to continue, I don't know when you'll be ready to let your eyes close, or whether you might want to keep them open. I really don't know, and it really doesn't matter. Because when you first learned to read, you had to keep your eyes open then. But now, of course, as you have learned to read, that's it. There are some things that you've read, that you've learned, that you could recall with your eyes closed, as the saying is. And there may have been times when you wondered, as you were learning to read, if you would ever manage that. You might have tried and not succeeded and tried. And then when you were ready, when the time was right, and as you continue to breathe, you can continue to allow my voice to be in the background. So that anything that I say that doesn't quite fit, you can adapt it. So that it becomes relevant to you. Because this is an experience for you. When you first learnt the guitar, and to find out how to hold the guitar, what to do with the thumb of your left hand, how to stretch your fingers across those strings, and tuning it. And learning a new piece of music. The first time you hear it or see it, you really don't know even how to begin, but you did. And finding the right stops. And finding a way to not only play the note, but how to stop playing that note when you get to the end of a piece of music. Was something that you took your own time. And when you were learning the guitar, did you learn by ear? You play from music?
Yeah.
By ear?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And you use music now?
No, not really.
By
No, because I just pick things I want to play.
You pick things that you want to play.
Yeah.
And when you want to play them, now, I know someone who was working in this field. And someone came to see him saying that he wanted hypnosis to stop smoking. And this person helped him to go into hypnosis and to look at the options of continuing to smoke and to look at the experience of becoming and being a non-smoker. And that man sat there for a while, and without trying to do the right thing, or trying not to do the right thing, or trying to not do anything, something began to shift in his experience. And he left that session enjoying his breathing. The person who was doing the hypnotic work went round, it was morning tea, to have a cup of coffee and a cigarette because he was smoking. And was very surprised to discover that he couldn't manage it. And I've mentioned a number of times before, it's a story that I've spoken in certain variety of places. But even though I've said it a number of times before, even though you may have read it or heard it, this person came to see me wanting to have hypnosis because she couldn't control the behavior. If she had cheese in her house, she just had to eat it, couldn't leave it. Had to. And she asked me, could I hypnotize her so that she would be able to resist the cheese? And I told her about a professional woman that Erickson had helped. She was a solicitor. And she came to see Erickson to get some help because, although she was very prominent in her work, in her profession, she developed a behavior that really didn't fit what she wanted. After work, she would go to a bar, have a fair bit to drink, and she would pick up a bloke, take him home, have sex with him. Then she'd wake up with a sense of, what have I done? I don't want to do that, but she didn't know how to stop it. Now, when you said that you wanted to stop smoking, the idea that you can stop smoking must already have been there as a possibility. You can't be certain that you will stop, but you can wonder. And that wondering must already be present.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just how that change can happen is something that you can't yet know. But you can wonder whether it will be that you will find yourself as a non-smoker feeling fitter. Whether you'll find yourself breathing more easily. Whether you'll enjoy being able to stay with your friends and not have to duck out. In fact, it might even be a bit of a nuisance if you're with some friends who are smoking. Because you might find that you have almost a compulsion to duck out and get a breath of fresh air. And you might enjoy that.
Mm.
Now, what Erickson told that woman was that she should go out to the bar that she normally went to, have as much to drink as she wanted, and look around for some bloke that she wanted to pick up and take home. But before she propositioned him, she should pay him 20 cents. Because I wanted that woman to know that just because she felt compelled to eat that cheese, didn't have to continue to be that way. And so I sent her down to the supermarket, which was just round the corner from where we were living. And I asked her if she would be willing to stand in front of the dairy cabinet and see if she might be able to hypnotise the cheese into staying on the shelf before it hypnotised her. Like that stage hypnotist that you mentioned. And that person who was working hypnotically did manage to have a cigarette later, but within a very short time he found he didn't have the willpower to force himself any longer to have the cigarettes. They just somehow now, you had experience of cutting down on guitars. Instead of all the room full, now you have the acoustic guitar. And you've given up the electric guitar, you've given it up.
Sort of.
Sort of.
I'm playing.
You're
I
not
don't
playing.
have one, but
Don't have one. And you could have one and you could play it, but you can feel free to enjoy the acoustic guitar that you do have.
Yeah.
Because you can enjoy learning anything that you like. And in reading, there are some things that you like reading, and there may be some things that you can enjoy, and enjoy having difficulty giving up the reading that you enjoy reading. There may be something pleasurable about that. You ever had the experience of reading a book and thinking, I really should do something else, but I'm going to continue reading this?
Yep.
Yeah, it's enjoyable, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the same way that breathing fresh air can be very enjoyable if that's something that you want to do. And I think you do want to feel fit. It's important to you.
Yeah.
It'd be terrible if you were so unfit that you just had to sit still without all of that aerobic exercise that you do, even when you're just sitting doing nothing. And to not have the energy, to not be fit enough to do that activity that you like to move. Now, there's a whole lot of more things that we could have spoken about. A whole of things that could have explored and could have experienced, but I wonder when you'll be ready to open your experience to the pleasure of breathing. And maybe even be surprised. Perhaps in a way that you couldn't have guessed. That when you do, let your eyes open, that it can feel as if somehow your chest is, or your breathing is. And what's that like for you to feel your breathing different? How does that feel?
Good.
Feels good?
Yeah.
Would it be alright if that good feeling could stay with you and you could stay with that good feeling?
Mm.
Yeah. And there's an emotion about that? A little sadness?
Yeah, I guess. It is a bit.
Yeah. It's like saying goodbye to someone who had been a friend but becomes
Yeah.
Because some people, like some situations, are good until they're not. But even if they're not good, there can be some sadness when you say goodbye to them. And that's okay, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're not sure?
No, that's okay.
That's okay.
No, that's okay.
I hope so.
Mm.
Because we explored last year that sadness is an emotion of acceptance.
Mm.
But when there's a loss of something, even if it's something you no longer want, it's still a sadness.
Yeah.
So I take that as a very relevant sign. And so would it be okay if you just enjoyed your breathing and continued like that? And, what are you playing at the moment? What piece what sort of music are you? You said you were playing classical. What?
Yeah, well, I guess it's not really. Well, it is, and it isn't. It's. I like to pick a piece that I can't. That'll be hard to work out. So.
Something that will be hard.
Yeah,
like
something different. So I'm trying. I'm working on. Well, playing in some different tunings.
Oh, yeah.
So you tune the guitar to a different key to begin with, and then it's really simple chord formations, but yeah, I was sort of playing in this modal melody, modal tuning. That's that's really nice. Just playing around with it. I just leave the guitar there in a different tuning, and so I think it's in a D modal or something at the moment, and I just have a fiddle with it and play around
and that's you're enjoying it.
Yeah. I think that's the thing with the guitar. It can be any tuning you want.
Yeah, but you soon know when something's discordant, when something doesn't fit. It's not.
Yep.
Yeah. And breathing's like that. Sometimes our chest will be singing a little song, that doesn't necessarily. It's not necessarily part of the melody that you want.
Yep.
Now, I'm just curious about how long it seems that you've been talking here.
Well, I just looked at the clock then, but it doesn't seem that long at all. It seemed like
How long
about...
has it been now that you've looked at the clock?
I'm not sure, actually. To be honest, I don't know, has it been 20 minutes?
Must be 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, I would have said 10 minutes.
So it felt like 10?
Yeah,
So
I would have said maybe even less than 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it didn't seem that long, between 5 and 10 minutes.
Yeah. And you heard everything I said?
I think so.
Yeah. And you remembered everything that you remembered?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. And the other things I've forgotten.
Yeah, but who would be bothered to try and remember what you've forgotten that you don't need to remember? Because forgetting is just part of life. Why would you want to do anything different?
Yeah.
So you can enjoy that. And how's your breathing?
Good. Yeah.
What's it like for you If you just take a moment to notice, what is it like for you at this moment to discover that you don't feel like a cigarette? It's not like you're trying to or trying not to or should or shouldn't. But
Pretty bizarre, actually.
Bizarre?
Yeah.
Well, never mind. It's just like a different way of tuning your body.
Yeah, it's
You can enjoy
been
that.
a long time since I felt like that.
Well, being a non-smoker is just another mode of breathing.
Mm.
Different mode.
Yeah.
So, would it be okay to stop there, or is there something else that you might want from the experience?
No, that'd be fine. Yeah. Yep.
Well, it's been nice talking with you about this.
Mm.